Here's a little trick I learned a long time ago, and it has paid off big time as a framing carpenter, and that is to build your landings on the ground. And again, if it was a large landing, obviously you couldn't build it on the ground because it would be difficult to lift up. But there are going to be certain cases where you're going to need to build something like this on the ground and then lift it onto two smaller walls, and that's the number two, of course, two separate walls. And realistically, here's how I do it. You can see I haven't nailed anything together here. You can see it's just loose. And basically, what I do is I lay out the landing I put a couple marks on it. Let me show you here. I just put the two boards together like this, and I measure and I mark it. I just mark straight across here. And then of course you can see that this would be the top of the landing board, let's say, or the left side, and of course this one would be the right side. And this works out great. If you were going to lay them out closer, let's say instead of using 3 joists you were going to use 4, then you simply mark it accordingly on the other side here. You just put a mark about here and maybe a mark about here, and then don't forget to put an X on the side of the line that you want the mark to go. And of course then you would have that, then that way you would have it would be perfectly marked. Now, because the reason why I'm doing this is because let's just say that you laid out, you grabbed your tape measure and you started from this end and you marked it 16 inches on center, and then you put your X on this end, and then you marked it 16 inches on center and you put your X on this end. But when you laid it out the other way, you might have put the X on the other spot. This realistically is one of the best ways I've found to mark the landings also. So after the landing's built, you simply put it on top of your 2 walls, and you can see right here, you know, it's a lot easier. Could you imagine building something like this? How hard it would be to build something like this in place. You know, you might nail the ledger on here first and then nail all of your joists in individually and then put the rim on, but this thing's going to be a little wiggly. And even if it's braced off, hey, let's face it, the best way to do something like this that I can think of, again, these are currently the best ways. Let's face it, someone watching this video might have a better way or a better idea, and we would love to hear it. I get to learn from this stuff also, as well as teaching it, but if you got a better way, I would love to hear it. So that's it in a nutshell. If you can, build your landings on the ground, nail them together, and then just simply lift them in place, put it on top of the walls, and you're done. Even if this wall, let's say, was a full height wall, and you had the landing like this for something like this, let's face it, set it up here, put a couple of nails maybe, drive some nails in where you would want the landing to sit on top of something that would hold your landing in place. Throw the landing up there and nail it off. I've been building platforms like these for years this way, and it really seems to work out great.